Hello everyone, Sayed here. Today I'm going to show you something incredible that I've been working on, my fully functional Clawdbot setup. This is a personal AI assistant that runs on my hardware, connects to all my messaging applications, and actually gets real work done. I've integrated it with my Gmail, my calendar, my Google Drive, N10 workflows, connected it to my trading application, which is capital.com, and also hooked it up to my home lab. I can control everything from Telegram, or it can use WhatsApp as well. Stay tuned because I'm going to show you exactly what this can do. Walk you through my setup and demonstrate some real-world workflows that are genuinely game-changing. Before I show you my setup, let me quickly explain what Clawdbot is. C-L-A-W-D, not C-L-A-U-D-E. Clawdbot is an open source, self-hosted AI assistant created by Peter Steinberger and a rapidly growing community with it. Unlike ChatGPT or Claude, where you visit a website or an application, Clawdbot lives inside the messaging applications that you already are using every single day. What makes this special is, number one, it's fully autonomous and works with multiple messaging applications, including WhatsApp, Telegram, Discord, Slack, Signal, iMessage. There's so many options that are available, even Microsoft Teams. So one AI assistant everywhere. Secondly, it has persistent memory. It actually remembers your conversations, your preferences, and builds context over time. It stores these as markdown files, like your own personal Obsidian vault. Although Obsidian can also be a skill as part of this agent. Now, thirdly, it can actually do things. It can execute shell commands, which I'm doing. I'll show that to you. You can browse the web with it. It can manipulate files, it can control smart home devices, manage your calendars, and even fix bugs in code. And finally, it integrates with MCP, Model Context Protocol. If you're not familiar with that, I've already created a video for that. Go ahead and watch that for details how this is important. So with MCP, it is a huge thing because it means Clawdbot can connect to tools like N10, Google Drive, Notion, and there's so many hundreds of other services through a standardized protocol. Let me show you what I have built. For hardware, I'm running Clawdbot on my Mac Studio, but you can run it on any old laptop that is available to you, or even a Raspberry Pi. A Raspberry Pi 4 with 4 GB RAM would be a perfect fit for this, or even a virtual machine hosted in the cloud, for example, in AWS or Azure or in GCP. It's surprisingly lightweight and handles everything I throw at it. For the LLM, the large language model, which is the brains of this AI agent, I'm using Claude from Anthropic. Since I already have a Claude Pro subscription, this uses my existing plan with no extra API charges. Occasionally, I'll switch to other models depending on the task. For example, for image generation, I'll use Gemini's Nano Banana, and you can also switch between other models as well. There's so many options available. So my primary interface is Telegram. It's fast, reliable, and works perfectly with Clawdbot. But as I said, you can also have it connected to WhatsApp, Slack, Discord, or there's so many other options available, as I mentioned before. So my key integrations include, number one, N10 workflows. So this is a big one. I've integrated Clawdbot with my N10 instance, which is running locally via the Model Context Protocol, MCP. So one of the workflow is my trading bot running on N10. This gives full trading bot integration and can make trades, create limit orders, or do technical analysis. The second area which it helps me is in the home lab management. So it can monitor and control my Raspberry Pi, Synology NAS, my Mac Studio. So all my stack though in my home lab setup is managed by via Docker Compose stacks. There are multiple stacks running, and these stacks are managed by Portainer. And this agent can then check the health of all my Docker container stacks, the state of individual containers, and can also help me troubleshoot if something goes wrong. Another area which it helps me is the integration with Google Workspace. So it has integration with Calendar, it has integration with Gmail, Google Drive integration is also there, all Google ecosystem, including Maps as well. And then lastly, Home Assistant is also as part of my setup. This is a future skill that I'll be adding, and it's very simple, but I did not get enough time to integrate that. But once that is integrated, I can control my lights, my humidifier, my air purifier, and all these things, my TV and all these things. I know I'm giving a lot of access to this agent. However, everything is secured properly. Clawdbot comes with two tools. One is called Clawdbot Doctor, and the other is called Clawdbot Security Audit. So these tools checks extensively the setup to make sure there are no vulnerabilities. So you need to run this from time to time to make sure that there are no vulnerabilities in your setup. Now let's get started. Let's get into how to install this, right? So on Clawdbot, there's a quick start. It's just one line. So I'm using Mac OS, so I just copy that in my terminal, and you can see it takes some time to install that. So I'll pause the video and then I'll come back. You can see now it has installed it, and then it goes through some onboarding process. So I selected, there's quick start and then manual. So I'll just select the quick start option, and in the quick start option, it will guide me through these multiple steps. The first one would be what would be my model or auth provider. So this is the AI model that we're talking about. You can see so many options are available. You can select between OpenAI, Anthropic, Qwen, Google, so many options. So we'll start with Anthropic, for example, and with Claude CLI, you can start with that. And you can also use the setup token approach as well. So once you do that, it will actually store your credentials in the keychain, and then it gives us some options what to do next, right? So we need to run some commands, and then what would be the default model? What would be the default model of your choice, and Claude Sonnet options available, and then the next step would be the channel, right? So this is the messaging interface, which is very important. I'm selecting Telegram. It uses the bot API, and then we'll go through the setup process. So you can see it is showing all the instructions. You just go to web.telegram.org. There will be a QR code. You scan that. When you go log into your Telegram account, you need to first search for the bot father, and bot father is the one which can help you create these bots, right? So when you open this, so there's a few commands that you can send it over. However, you can also now there's a guided view for this as well. So you can just simply click on create a new bot, and you follow the whole process how you do that. So once you're done with that, then it will go to the next steps. So I'll just pause the video, I'll go through it, I'll set this up, and then come back. Okay, so now I have added there's a token that generates the bot. I have pasted that step has been done. Now it actually goes through the skills configuration, right? So you can select what skills you need. By default, you can see there's so many skills that are available out of the box, and you can just select a few which based on your preference to begin with. I will do a demo what I have done, what kind of skills. Mainly the skill that I have is around Gmail, calendar, as well as there's integration with MCP, and I'll show all this to you in the demo section. But you can go through this if you want MCP integration. So MCP Porter would be one which you need to select. This actually helps you list and configure the MCP for you, and then there's so many others. Obsidian is also one of these options. So I'll go through this setup. Once I'm done, then we'll go to the next section. So now once you select all these skills, then there will be a process of installation. So it will install the missing dependencies that are required for that skill. It will create the right documentation for that. And once everything is ready, then we can go to the next step, which is to interact with the bot itself, right? So I'll pause the video and then we'll come back. So now it actually goes through the gateway has been set up already, and now it's actually creating the user interface as well. So it automatically opens behind the scenes the user interface, and it has a chat option where you can interact with the chat. Right now, since it's going through the setup, the chat will not work, but now you can start seeing the user interface. So let's go through that quickly. So you can see it has an overview tab which shows the gateway access, what are the options available, the snapshot if it's connected, right? So the channel refresh, how long it did, the channels that are connected. Telegram is the only channel that I have set up as of now. And you can go through these different settings. I've not set up everything as of now. This is just a fresh install, but once you are comfortable with this, then you can start working through it and make it more secure. What are the different instances that are connected? So it will show that as well over here. Then we have the sessions, right? So what are the active sessions that are currently on your instance? Cron jobs, this is important, right? So if you ask it to schedule something or do something on a specific frequency, it will add the cron jobs here. And these are the skills that we already configured, some of these. And here you can come back later to kind of open this. It's just Clawdbot just space dashboard. If you run that command in your terminal, it will open this in your browser, right? So you can go through all the different skills that you have, which you can review and then maybe set up. And then there's also tons of other features as well that you can bring to this. MCP Porter is important, which gives you access to the MCPs. And just review this. Open Hue. I installed it because I have Hue bulbs in my house. So I'm not set it up, but this is another skill. So you can review this, and then we can go to the next step. Now in the nodes, this is the approval section, right? So how the approval would take place, right? So if, for example, the security mode, it's by default, it's deny, ask, on miss, right? So I'm not even familiar with all these different settings, but this is kind of a secure place. And then in config, these are all the configurations, right? So you can directly edit this file written on top clawdbot.json, where you can update this and then restart the gateway. But this is just to show you what are the different options available under the config, which you can update from here as well. I am not able to scroll this down. So if I open for example, agent, if I scroll it on the right side, there's other options available below, but for some reason it doesn't scroll. So there's a bit of a bug maybe here. I've not checked it if someone opened an issue around this or not, but this is something that you can always do it in the config file directly, right? So there's so many options available. I've not reviewed everything. It's just a fresh install, so we'll see. Maybe I'll have another video. So the chat is still working through it. There's also kind of a reasoning button on top. You can enable that from the Telegram via commands as well. You can switch between light as well as dark, right? So or you can just set up to the system default, whatever the system would be, it will automatically choose the right color. So it's still working through the installation. I'll pause the video and then come back once it's done. All right, so far we just talked about how awesome the Clawdbot is. However, we have not seen something, right? So now that we have set up everything, so if you have followed the steps as well, you would have a messaging interface with your bot right now. For me, it's Telegram, so I prefer Telegram. For you, it might be WhatsApp, Slack, or Discord, or any other messaging tool that it supports. So let's do a quick demo and see what use cases it is helping me with, right? So this is the bot. When you start interacting with it, it also maintains a history, right? So it understands, it remembers the context, if you ask it to remember something, it will remember that, right? So it knows who my wife is, my brother is, their email address, their name, and I asked it to remember, and at that moment it actually remembers it, right? So it has some tools right now available. So let's start with some basics like Gmail and calendar integration, right? So I'll just say, can you send an email to my brother reminding him that we are meeting tomorrow 10 a.m. at our parents' house. Also send a calendar invite, right? So I already sent some similar message beforehand as well. So let's see if it remembers that and if it understands that context as well. But if not, this is my ask. So it will send an email as well as it will send a calendar invite. So if you look at, there are no emails here as of now. In the calendar, there's nothing. If I go to today, there's nothing here, right? So tomorrow, there's nothing, right? So here, you see, now it automatically added the calendar invite, and I see there's an email sent as well, right? Quick remember, we're meeting tomorrow at 9 a.m., right? So if I go to the Telegram, so the bot is saying done, email sent, invitation sent. Perfect. So this is one use case. It can read through my calendar events. It can manage my calendar. It can also send and receive emails, which I've showed. At the same time, it can also read emails as well. So now let's go to the next use case. So can you check the price of BTC USD? So this is Bitcoin, and I'm using N10 workflows as a trading bot to connect to my trading platform, and that can become an MCP for this AI agent, right? So it's a simple setup, not a big deal. If you are interested, just leave a comment below and I'll guide you how you can do that as well. But I'll just mention it using the N8N MCP, and also buy 0.0001 thing, yeah, 1 BTC USD, and check the historical price of BTC USD and create in fact, I'll just give another prompt after this, right? So just so that it can just buy right now. Okay, so now it's actually working through it, and you can see if I go to my trading platform, there's nothing, there's no trades, there's no orders, and so the current price is this. Now buying this BTC. If I come back, oh, here it is. So it already bought. Now the other prompt I want to give is it did not set any stop loss or take profit. So let's add that as well. Look. So it's saying 2 BTC positions because it remembers. It did not check it because I already had before this. I did a quick test, so that's why it's saying 2 BTC positions. Otherwise, now it's 1. Look at the historical price of BTC USD and the recent resistance level, and set the take profit to a bit lower than that, right? So now, since it doesn't have any take profit, I can also ask it to do the stop loss as well and investment advice. Yes, do that. And now you can see I already checked this since earlier. So yes, it remembers, as I said. Now let me get the deal ID first. It's still working on it. Now there's nothing here, so after some time you'll see it. If not, then we'll actually prompt it again. Deal ID is there. Now it's actually setting the take profit. So this actually helps me doing the swing trading. It's not an investment advice to use a bot to manage your trading account. But this is what I do, and it actually helps me, right? So now it has set up the take profit. Now this is good. So I'll wait for it to hit, and then I'll get some money out of it. Potential profit is around $6.35. Now it can close. It can also create limit orders, right? So I have no limit orders. So if the market is closed, you can create limit orders for those stocks, right? So, but I'll skip that. Now the next use case is around how it interacts with my home network, right? So I just quickly show you, I'm managing all my home devices, or there's a lot of containers that I'm running on 3 different systems or machines. One is the Synology NAS, then I have Raspberry Pi, and then I have a Mac Studio. So Mac Studio actually runs this AI agent, but then I've added permissions for this agent to actually interact with these 2 other machines as well, right? So it can check the, can you check the containers running on my Raspberry Pi and NAS and on Mac Studio? Also, just give me the total counts with healthy versus not healthy, right? So now if it remembers, because we had a conversation around that, the IP address of my Raspberry Pi, the NAS and Mac Studio. So if it remembers that, it would automatically go and then do whatever I'm actually asking it to do. And if it doesn't, then I'll have to prompt it a bit more. So yes, it remembers, right? So you can see Raspberry Pi, it has 7 total. Then we have Mac Studio. Sorry, it says 5 healthy and 2, yeah, and then healthy 7, 8, 5 total on Mac Studio, and 27 are the total containers that I'm running. So you can imagine how many containers I have. It was a nightmare for me to manage all this, but with this, now I can restart as well the containers. Instead of going into Portainer and doing all these things, I can just interact with this bot to take actions on my behalf. And it, of course, security is important. I do make sure that I run the Clawdbot comes with a security feature. So you run that, it actually runs through the vulnerabilities. However, still, you are giving an AI access to your home environment. So this is my setup, and these are a few skills which I showcase. There are others as well, but these are some of the important ones which actually I use day to day. If you have any questions, if you want to understand more, just let me know and I'll do a demo for that as well. But this, I'm sure this will help you understand how powerful this can be. So should you try Clawdbot? Definitely you should. The Clawdbot can work with both technical as well as non-technical personas. It provides detailed instructions along the way when configuring, and even when you're stuck with something, it can help you with troubleshooting as well. However, it's not plug and play. There's a bit of a learning curve or a bit of a setup that is required and needed, but it's absolutely worth it. This is the future of personal AI. It's not perfect yet. There are some rough edges, especially on the UI front, but the innovation is incredible and it's genuinely fun to build. So that's my complete Clawdbot setup, from end-to-end integration to automated training and even home lab management, as I showed that to you in the demo. Drop your questions in the comments. I'll answer them all. If you want a deep dive on any integration, let me know and I'll make a dedicated video for that. If this was helpful, smash that like and subscribe button for more AI automation, end-to-end home lab content, and so on and so forth. I'm Syed. The future of AI is personal, private, and under your control. See you in the next one.